I'm Tonya Clement, and I was born and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and came out to Colorado for college in the early 80s and left for a short time and came back in 96, never to leave again. My perfect day is waking up and being the first car in El Dorado Canyon. I can just feel good if I spend the entire day in that park climbing. There's something about the sounds, the smells, it's where I learned to climb, and it's just my favorite place in the world. I kind of stumbled upon rock climbing through the Colorado Mountain Club when my goal was really just to get education for safe travel through the Colorado 14ers. But in that process, there was one day where they put us on a rock and we had to climb up just 20 feet off the ground and rappel back. And when I touched the rock, I realized this is what I was born to do. I need to spend the rest of my life doing this. I originally went to Nepal on a family vacation with Chuck Demarest. And it was truly just a trekking trip across Nepal. And on that trip, I saw Ama Dablam in the distance, and that was 2003, and I returned in 2004 to climb it. And I just have fallen in love with the Nepal area, the region, and the mountains. And then while climbing Ama Dablam, I saw Everest, and it's just been this, steady progression. Standing on top of Mount Everest, it's going to be almost a disappointing answer to you, but at the time, it's so, I don't think I really recognized what I was doing at the moment. You're so caught up, you're so exhausted, and it's just surreal. You're there, but you're not really there. I think the altitude has that effect on you. So the magnitude of the experience didn't hit me till a few days later when I was down safe, and I really looked back up at it and thought, wow, I was actually on top of the world at the highest point. So yes, as the story goes, I did meet my husband on Mount Everest, and that's where we fell in love. And it's a great story for me to tell because I didn't go there seeking to meet someone. In fact, I'd had several failed relationships over the years, and it's just not what you're thinking about when you go to climb a big mountain. You go 45 to 60 days without a shower. You're not looking your best, and you're exhausted. And I was crying almost every night. I'll be frank there. It's just you're in a state of constant fear. And he was hired to film the climb that I was on. And what happened with us was I watched him and I grew a respect for the person that he was and the way he handled the mountain. So I respected him before I was attracted to him. And that's a story I always like to share because it feels like a deeper love when it wasn't just love at first sight. It kind of grew over time. My favorite piece of stoneware, boy, that changes year after year. I've had a different favorite in time, but I'm going to have to say currently my favorite stoneware piece is the top I'm wearing, which is the Electra tank. And it's really grown on me because of many reasons. Well, I actually wore this to work today. This is what I went to the office in. And I love the fact that it has a conservative and square neckline. It's very fitted and snug at the top. So if I am practicing yoga in it, I don't feel a lot of movement and I feel secure. And it's hard to see in this print, but it has some little darts under each breast, which give me a little shape. And yet it's full enough and it flares in the girth just enough that it doesn't hug and grab my belly. So it's full coverage on the back. And now that I work for a skin cancer doctor, I think it's more important that I cover more of my body later in life as we don't want to damage our skin from the sun.